Good morning all. Firstly, I will thank you, Dr. Flora Charles, the convener of this conference, International Conference on Science and Technology Research. I also welcome all the delegates to this conference. Today's my topic is variation in gravitational pull, a new technique for aquifers mapping. Myself, Dr. B.M. More, Professor in Physics and Dean Research and Development Cell, Brahmdevdada Institute of Technology, Solapur. Today I am going to explain a variation in gravitational pull, which is a new technique for aquifers mapping. But before actually going to gravitational pull, we have to start with some basic terms. That is a dowsing. Dowsing is a traditional way of searching groundwater by various methods. There are different techniques of dowsing. One, walking in the field in a straight line, walking in the field along the curve by standing one spot or occasionally moves and without entering into the field. We will see one by one. First, walking in the field in a straight line. In this, dowser walks in the field along a diagonal or a middle part of the area in a straight line, and while walking in the field, he remarks something and identifies prospective area. There is another method in which walking in the field along a curve. In this technique, the prospective area dowser walks along the curve and identifies the spot for drilling borewell or a digging well. There are some materials which are used for dowsing. One, metal rods, wire sticks from trees, coconuts, key wires, pendulums. We will see some experimentation on dowsing with metal wires. For the metal wires, two L-shaped wires are taken. The primary assumption was that the changes in magnetic field causes wire rod to cross, but with great efforts are made to show effect of magnetic or electric field, and it is found that there is no experience of electric or magnetic field at longer distance, and therefore many dowsers actually claims that they have natural sensitivity to acid earth magnetism or radiations or the other natural phenomena, and their dowsing stick or the material identifies this energy. Actually, this has no scientific base. The dowsers themselves claim that the dowsing is visionary or it violates every principle of science. Now my question is the dowsing art or science? And the answer is art of science. The dowsing is not only art or it is not only science, but it is an art of science. How that we will see ahead. First we will see the dowsing with L-shaped metal rods. In this case, a L-shaped metal rods are taken and the dowsers holds these metal rods in two hands parallel to each other by separating nearly 1.5 feet distance. And if the dowser walks towards the stream, or stream is perpendicular to the direction of dowser, and if dowser is away from the stream, in that case these two rods will remain parallel to each other. But as dowser approaches towards the stream, as shown in figure 2nd, the rod starts turning in the direction of stream as dowser approaches the stream. And in third case, when dowser is on the stream, in that case the rod totally turns in the direction of stream. This is one of the cases when dowser is in a perpendicular direction to the direction of stream. Other case is that it may be a dowser walking along the stream itself, and in that case, if the width of the stream is larger than the distance between two rods, in that case the rod bends away from each other. They bends away from each other as shown in figure 1. If stream width is less than the distance between two rods, then in that case the rod turns inside or they crosses each other. And if another case, if dowser is walking along the end having the same distance or width of the stream as the same as the distance between two rods, in that case the rod remains parallel to the direction of stream. This is another case of dowsing. And actually the photographs while dowsing are shown. A first photograph is dowsing away from the stream, and second photograph is a dowser is on the stream. In that case all their bars, L-shaped bars are turned in the direction of stream. And the dowsing with L-shaped iron rod gives the moment of rod towards the stream. The main cause of the moment of the rod is the increased gravitational force because of underground water, and the moment of rod on the stream is due to sudden increased gravitational force which deflects the rod. Means the rotation of rod is because of only increased gravitational force due to water stream inside the rod. Then next, another way of dowsing is that coconut dowsing. In coconut dowsing, again we will consider the three cases. First case, the coconut is all husks are removed from the coconut, and coconut is held horizontal on the hand, and if the dowser is away from the stream, in that case the horizontal coconut will remain as a horizontal. But as dowser approaches the stream, because of increased gravitational force, the coconut starts, the center of gravity side is pulled downward direction, and because of that the tip of the coconut starts upward. And in third case, if the coconut dowser is on the stream, in that case the coconut will be, or its tip will be directly vertically upwards. And the actually expansion photographs are shown. First is a dowser which is away from the stream, and second a dowser is on the stream with its coconut which is lifted directly, tip is lifted in upward direction. So if same thing happens in case of eggs, the shape which is not a symmetrical, perfectly symmetrical in case of coconut, also in case of eggs. So eggs also giving the same results. Means first case the dowser is away from the stream, in that case the coconut will remain horizontal, and if dowser is on the stream, in that case automatically the smaller or tip of the coconut will start gets uplifted in an upward direction. And due to non-symmetrical shape of coconut, the center of gravity and body center are not in the same point, and hence horizontal position is unbalanced. When the dowser is on the stream, increased gravitational force is enough to move coconut tip upward, vertically upward, and the center of gravity and body center are in the same line, and vertical position is balanced. Therefore the vertical moment of tip of the coconut is because of increased gravitational force by the groundwater stream. So again in this case also the increased gravitational force works for this coconut dowsing. There is another technique, right, that is without any tool. Dowsers move in the field without any tool, and in that case also the dowser which is away from the stream, it has a normal weight, but if dowser is on the stream, its weight is slightly increased, and because of that he can analyze about the underground water stream. That means without any tool dowser can analyze the underground water stream. There, and one traditional way, that is dowsing in the walk without any tool. Hence here the dowser senses the changes in gravitational force, which changes high weight, and he feels normal weight while walking in the field, but on the stream his weight is slightly increases, and this increasing weight of dowser is because of increased gravitational force due to groundwater. Now there is another way of dowsing, that is pendulum dowsing, and in pendulum dowsing if pendulum bar has given circular motion, in that case, if the dowser is on the stream, in that case this circular motion is converted into elliptical and it starts oscillating along the same path. And its explanation is that the pendulum is used by the dowser to confirm the underground water stream. A spherical shaped body is tied to a thread 1-2 feet long and used as a pendulum. The dowser gives circular motion to this pendulum, and if the pendulum is on the stream, then the circular motion is converted into oscillations, and if the pendulum is not on the stream, then circular motion stops. So the transform of circular motion to oscillation could be because of the fact that in the circular motion will be a 2 times increase in gravitational force in one oscillation, and this increased gravitational force reduces the circular motion into elliptical motion first, and then it converts into horizontal oscillations, and these oscillations are along the stream and lasts longer. Therefore, the transform of circular motion to oscillatory motion is because of maximum gravitational force acts on the pendulum due to motion of water. Now next, there are some natural indicators of groundwater, and these natural indicators are some of the trees which are observed in the lands. So this is a neem tree, which if we observe its growth is radial, its twigs are or its branches are radial from the trunk, but we will call this as a usual growth. And this neem tree is having usual growth. The crown is nearly symmetrical in shape, and the branches grow towards the sunlight for a usual growth of the tree. But there are some unusual growths. I am showing here 2-3 types of trees. First is tamarind, and other 3 are neem trees. But here we find that some of the twigs are bending in downward direction. So even first tamarind tree, you can see that their twigs are bending downward direction. In case of neem, they are showing that their twigs are bending in downward direction. So this we are calling it as asymmetrical growth. The crown of some trees is asymmetric, and you may call them as unusual growth. So we are calling this as unusual growth, and some branches are bending in downward direction. So this unusual growth of twigs have the normal gravitational pulling downward. Usual growth have normal gravitational force pulling downward, but it is found that the diameter of unusual grown twigs is reduced than the diameter of usual grown twigs of the same tree. But the length of the unusual grown twigs is larger than the length of usual grown twigs, and the increased length and decreased diameter of unusual growth twigs is due to additional gravitational force acting on these twigs, and this additional force acting on twigs is unusual grown twigs is because of underground water stream present below these twigs, and this bending of twigs of tree is downward direction is due to underground water stream, and that increased gravitational force. So this is some natural indicates, and from these natural indicates I defined the term growth index ratio. A growth index ratio, actually growth index is a ratio of length of the twigs to diameter of that twig, and this growth index ratio term is a growth index of unusual growth to ratio of growth index of usual growth. And if this ratio is less than 1, in that case the unusual growth having the same growth index or less the growth index, which indicates that there is no extra gravitational force is acting on these twigs, and because of that there is no possibility of presence of underground stream. But if the growth index ratio is greater than 1, that means unusual growth index is larger than usual growth index. In that case, the growth index twigs is increased while its diameter decrease, means growth index of unusual growth is greater than growth index of usual growth, and the extra gravitational force acting on twigs with unusual growth, which diffuse the presence of underground water stream. Means if this ratio is greater than 1, growth index ratio is greater than 1, then there is a possibility of underground water source. And the some of the results which are we find by this traditional way of dowsing, with considering that there is an increase in gravitational force, some of the bores were drilled and they are giving the good results. Now the conclusion is that the increased force on twigs of unusual growth is a violation of Newton's law of gravitation. The extra gravitational force is the effect of groundwater, and therefore Newton's law of gravitation could be modified, as the 70% of surface of earth is covered with water, and this will bring revolution in fundamental laws of gravity. Now second conclusion is that these studies of dowsing methods based on science and are used as an important tool for searching of underground water. The dowser should use scientific predictions, then possibility is better. Many dowsers use one technique instead of that. If they use more than one technique, then again the results will improve. In case of results fails, the technique will not fail, but the dowser fails to interpret it. And the dowsing is an important tool for searching underground water stream. Now the growth index ratio should be greater than 1. This is another one possibility for finding research. Some of the results which are reported by, or they have given reference for by this field. Now the gravitational force, the variation in gravitational force. While geomagnetism theory is certainly possible, how can we then explain seemingly successfully dowsers who use non-metal objects such as tree branches as their dowsing rods, and they are showing the results? That means there is not possibility of giving electrical or magnetic field. So there is a possibility, one theory is that the dowsing rods are interacting with changes in gravitational pull, and as they crosses over underground water sources. According to NASA, the gravitational pull of Earth varies from place to place, and depending upon the many factors including elevation of the land, the kinds of the earth crust at any given point, as well as the material under the surface. And so in theory, as someone walks along the path with diving rods, regardless of material of that object, as they pass over an underground water source, the gravitational changes will act upon the object and it will pull closer to the ground surface. Now some of the NASA's results, according to my results, which are shown in, I presented this work in 2012, and 2014 NASA given the same result for the states in India, for test Chandigarh, Haryana and Rajasthan, and they are showing their water level is depleting. In this case the water level is depleting, and which gives the less gravitational force, or gravitational force is also decreasing. And this was a NASA's result for gravity recovery and climate experiment, GRACE, published in August 2020. The changes in underground water masses affect gravity enough to provide a signal such that changes in gravity can be translated into measurement of an equivalent changes in water. That is given by NASA. And the map shows groundwater changes in India during 2002 to 2008, with losses in red color and gains in blue color based on GRACE satellite observation. The groundwater sources, and the estimated rate of depletion of groundwater in northern east India is 4 centimeter of water per year, and equivalent to water table decline of 33 centimeter per year in southern area. This increases in groundwater in southern India are due to recent above average rainfall, whereas rain in northern western area India was close to normal during the study. So this also NASA's result also showing that there is a change in gravitational force depending upon the groundwater position. There are some new techniques now currently used. There is one technique, PQWT S500 automatic mapping water detector. It is based on the field source of Earth's electromagnetic field and differences in conductivity with different underground geological structures. To study the variation of law of electric field components at different frequencies to study the geological structure and changes. And these changes in geological structure are displayed in real time through multiple curves. A automatic mapping geological profile by one key operate easily and gets rid of complicated computer graphics. Geological structure and specific information such as aquifers, fractures, faults and caves can be easily analyzed through this automatic mapping curve and profile on site. The device can be widely used in different territories such as plains, hills, mountains, plateaus and basins for rapid analysis of geological structure changes and determines the well location, aquifers and aquifer depths. But while observing this PQWT automatic water mapping detectors, there are some series 100, 150, 300, 500 meter depth series for this. And first there we have to observe the curves for V shape, L shape, W shape or A falling curves or lower potential difference data and makes the position number, and the horizontal line of the curve is measurement point and the vertical line of curve is underground material potential difference data could be a resistive value, and this will be shown in the graph. So we will observe the profile map, and this profile map will show the horizontal lines of profile map is measuring points and the vertical line of profile map is measuring depth. Blue indicates the low resistivity, yellow indicates the medium resistivity and red lines indicates the hard resistivity. So this is shown in the next profile picture where the blue lines indicates the low resistivity material, yellow line indicates the medium resistivity material and red line indicates the hard resistivity material, and from this we can analyze the point 4 and 8 better for the drilling of borewells by this PQWT technique. Or their graphs are shown, even another modified graphs are shown below the curve, finding V notches which is a lot of falling and the low value potential. So these 4 and 8 number points are easily they will give the good results for the underground water. Now there is another technique which is used ADMT, and this ADMT also a mobile operated portable mapping 2D or 3D underground water detectors or water leak detectors, and this portable mapping underground water detector or water leak detector is measured by natural electromagnetic field strength to respond to the changes in resistivity and to analyze and judge the location, depth of the groundwater and other related informations can be detailed survey and exploration of groundwater, solve drinking water or industrial water or agricultural irrigation demands to great efforts to the successful drilling of wells for water under the general customers considered high praise. Another technique, but this technique directly get 3 or 2 mappings, and for that you have to again by the blue color or yellow color or red color to analyze the points, and from that you can detect the underground water source. But there are many current challenges for this groundwater detection. First challenge is of ADMT and PQWT techniques. They are having very high prices to determine the exact depth of underground water stream, to find the amount of getting water from the source, for how many days this stream will exist. These are the challenges in the current research. There are some of the reference which are shown by this technique. So thank you. Again I will thank to organizer of this conference and convener of this conference. Also I thanks to all the delegates for listening me. Thank you. Thank you.